crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning, Bix Weir, Roto.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of chaga coffee. We're going to talk about something very important, but in a second, here's something more important. Jenny Moonstone has a new silver dagger. Jenny and I have been fighting this battle on the spiritual side and on the ground. I'm on the ground, she's on the spiritual side, to free silver. I would like to point out, I am not part of the group that is planning on buying all this silver on May 1st. Although, bravo to them to have the balls to do that. I don't advocate that because I advocate buying silver every single day. Today. I'm 50 times worse than those guys. If the DOJ wants to go after someone for instigating people to buy silver, come after me, because I tell people to buy silver every day because it's massively, massively undervalued. As an investment asset, it is the best in the world. Even better than Theta at this very moment. Even though Theta's dropped below $10, I know I'm a big advocate of Theta, but silver has 170 years of price manipulation attached to it. I'm advocating people to buy silver because it is undervalued. And smart investors, I don't care if you're a Reddit follower, I don't care if you're a keyboard cowboy, I don't care if you're somebody's Aunt June, you should be buying silver to protect yourself from the coming onslaught of craziness created by this banking cabal, and silver is massively undervalued. That's why I'm telling people to buy silver, not on May 1st, but on May 2nd, May 3rd, May 4th, today, tomorrow, the next day. You should be buying silver every day because it is massively undervalued. Now, here's what I want to talk about. Oh, by the way, go to roto.com, subscribe today for the private road. Jenny and I talk about the Silver Knights are here. We are armed and ready for battle, the final battle. Let's talk about this little mofo, Jeffery Christian. They drag out the banking cabal. Jeffery Christian works for them. He should have been brought up on RICO charges as well at JP Morgan. All of the traders involved in that scam should have been brought up on RICO charges. RICO is a racketeering charge, meaning you're colluding to cause a crime. It's a conspiracy. Oh my God, did he say conspiracy? Yes, that's the legal definition. A conspiracy to commit a crime. That's what JP Morgan settled for, and we know who the other conspirators were, and they have all the documentation needed to bust them. Although, why didn't those other banksters get charged with the conspiracy like JP Morgan did? The RICO charges that were dropped for reasons, they're political reasons. As Bart Chilton says, the law is political. That's it, period. Anyway, so the banksters drag out Jeffery Christian every time they're in trouble. It happened back in, end of January, beginning of February. Well, Jeffery Christian is back, and he's on Kitco News, and the amount of times he puts his foot in his mouth, but he says something very specific. He admits that the big banksters are rigging the price of silver. He admits it. He says a bunch of stupid things, but he admits that the big banks are rigging the price of silver, and I'm going to play that for you. And right after he says that the Green New Deal won't have any effect on the price of silver, oh my God. Is this guy really that stupid, or is he really that criminal? He is a criminal. But here, I'll let you hear the end. Go to Kitco, Kitco News, and listen to this one. You'll have a chuckle the whole time. But listen to what he says about the Green New Deal. The Green New Deal meaning they got to blanket the whole country with solar panels. They got to get California's going to no gas emission cars. How is that not going to affect the price of silver? Silver in the solar panels like 100 million ounces. It's going to go to 300 million ounces. Where's that silver coming from? Cars is like 40 million ounces. It's going to go to, 200 million ounces. Where's that silver coming from? It is the most important thing. If you don't like the conspiracy world, the most important thing on the industrial side is the Green New Deal. And listen to what this idiot says about it.
Okay. Solar power panels, photovoltaic panels that generate electricity from sunlight use silver, and that has been one of the bigger growth industries. And it's up around 100 million ounces of silver a year. You look at other applications, and these are hypothetical. So there's a lot of marketing hype where silver people, promoters, are saying, "Oh yeah,
Let's tell Elon Musk that his cars are hypothetical.
Yeah, the Green New Deal, they're going to use a lot of silver. You say, where? They say, well, solar power and electric vehicles. But electric vehicles are like 2% of the auto market, and solar power for all of the growth is still around 5% of
Electric vehicles are 2% of the auto market, and yet they take up 50 million ounces a year, or 40 to 50 million ounces a year in silver. What if it goes to 20%, 30%, or like California wants to go to 100%? Come on, this guy is such an amazing shill. He belongs in jail. He doesn't belong on Kitco. By the way, Kitco, you better look at your pooled accounts because you're going down with the ship. Get rid of those pooled accounts now. Everybody who has silver in a pooled account should be pulling it out just to protect yourself. If they can't give you your silver, take the cash. Use the cash to go buy silver from somebody reputable. So no, Kitco is not our friend. Keep going.
Electricity generation. So what you're really seeing is expectations of future industrial demand on the part of investors driving silver prices up. Investors are buying silver because they've drunk the Kool-Aid, and they think that just because we're hopefully going toward a better ecologically way of living, that silver use is going to grow. And there's going to be a disappointment there.
Yeah.
Is he insane or stupid or a criminal? He's a criminal. He's both insane, stupid, and criminal. He's all of them. He's all of them. The guy's an embarrassing shill for the banking cabal. So anything that comes out of his mouth is going to be the opposite of what's really going on. I want you to listen to what he says about the JP Morgan investigation.
I don't know if they've drunk the Kool-Aid. I think they're expecting higher demand from industry, as they should. I mean, it makes sense. But what you're saying is potentially that demand from industry hasn't come yet. It's somewhere down the line. So right now we're just seeing investment demand, right?
Right. I mean,
okay.
solar is there, but a lot of those other applications aren't there.
Okay. I do want to bring this up because this is something the viewers are concerned about, which is price suppression from financial institutions. And specifically, people have been citing the JP Morgan case from last year. They were fined close to $1 billion, as you know, for spoofing of the metals markets. First of all, was it just silver? Was it primarily silver? I assume it was a variety of different metals. It wasn't just silver. A second, did that spoofing from JP Morgan actually have material impact on the price?
Okay. First off, the fine for JP Morgan was for spoofing across markets.
Yep.
And most of the spoofing that was uncovered or reported or assumed in that process had to do with stocks and bonds and currency markets. Gold and silver were relatively small.
Okay, let's just stop right there. You just heard what he said. It was mostly other things. It wasn't gold and silver. This guy is so pathetic. Let's take a look at the actual document, huh? Department of Justice, JP Morgan Chase agrees to pay $920 million in connection to schemes to defraud precious metals and U.S. Treasury markets. Now, Jeffery Christian is claiming that it was mostly all the other stuff, very little part of precious metals. Let's see if the DOJ agrees with Jeffery. JP Morgan Chase, a New York-based financial banking and services firm, has entered into a resolution with the Department of Justice to resolve criminal charges related to two distinct schemes to defraud. These are lawyers talking. The first involving tens of thousands of episodes of unlawful trading in the markets for precious metals futures contracts. Tens of thousands of episodes of unlawful trading in markets for precious metals contracts. And the second involving thousands of episodes of unlawful trading in the markets for U.S. Treasury future contracts and in the secondary cash market. So we have a difference between tens of thousands of instances in precious metals versus thousands of instances in the U.S. Treasuries. Let's go back and listen to what this jackass says.
Most of the spoofing that was uncovered or reported or assumed in that process had to do with stocks and bonds and currency markets. Gold and silver were relatively small.
I thought it was
tens of thousands versus thousands. And this is why I love the DOJ and lawyers. They were very specific. They said two distinct schemes to defraud. The first involving tens of thousands of episodes. They knew the bankers were going to try to spin it. Oh, this is everything. No, this was the distinct episode of fraud happening tens of thousands of times. All right, there's more.
It was just metals. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it was across markets, and it was interesting because it was an SEC and CFTC settlement, and in the settlement, the regulator said JP Morgan created an environment that encouraged that. Now, if you look at previous cases against other banks, and there have been numerous ones against other banks over the last several years, what they found were isolated instances. So, for example, Barclays was fined for somebody spoofing the gold options market or the gold market, And what they found was it was an individual salesperson doing that, and that the Barclays bullion desk didn't even know he was doing that. So the idea that this was like colluded across banks and markets, it was Barclays' own trading desk.
See, this is the kind of bullshit that these guys spend. They'll take a one-off rogue trader and say, "Oh, that's what happens." There's no big conspiracy between the banks. They don't talk to each other or anything. It's just one-off stuff. And this happened years ago. Listen to what he says.
Didn't even know that this guy was doing that. And if you look at the various settlements and the various cases that have come forward over the last 5-10 years, almost all of what you've seen are spoofing. And it's, an individual trader. In JP Morgan, as I said, it's very unique because the regulator said, you guys created an atmosphere that encouraged this, not in precious metals, but across financial markets. And part of the problem with spoofing is in other criminal activities, you don't have to prove a motive to prove guilt. You did this, you robbed that bank. I don't care why you robbed the bank, you robbed that bank, you killed that person. But in financial regulatory issues, it's all dependent on motives. Because if you look at what spoofing is, somebody puts in a ladder of buy orders or sell orders with the intent of driving the price up or down. In reality, a lot of people who are legitimate market participants, buyers or sellers, will put in a ladder of buy or sell orders, hoping to get a better price for their product or a lower price for their raw materials. So it's the same kind of process, but the difference between a legal action and an illegal action is the motive. So in financial markets, and this is one of the reasons why regulators have always had problems with financial market regulation, financial markets, you have to prove motive. Hey, I noticed that you're putting in this ladder of sell orders. Why'd you do it? Because I'm trying to get the lowest possible price for my customer. Okay, that's legitimate. Why'd you do it? Oh, I was hoping, I thought that if I put all these orders in, the price would fall. That's spoofing. That's illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. He just exposed what the hell these banksters are doing. He just told the world that the banks are spoofing on behalf of customers, but that's okay. That's the way financial markets work. He just admitted that the banks are spoofing to rig prices lower, but it's okay because they're trying to get the lowest value for their customers who want to buy. That's illegal. Let's listen to that again.
Is the motive. So in financial markets, and this is one of the reasons why regulators have always had problems with financial market regulation, financial markets, you have to prove motive. Hey, I noticed that you're putting in this ladder of sell orders. Why'd you do it? Because I'm trying to get the lowest possible price for my customer.
You put in this ladder of sell orders. Why did you do it? I'm trying to get the best possible price for my customer. So by putting in sell orders, and spoofing them, you are pushing the price down, manipulating the price down for your customer. And Jeffrey says, oh, that's okay to do that. So JP Morgan can do that because they're doing it on behalf of their customer being probably, let's just say HSBC. Maybe they have the same customers, or the US government. It's okay to spoof and place sell orders to get the price down with no intent to fill those orders he just admitted it. And he says it's okay. Listen again.
Is the motive. So in financial markets, and this is one of the reasons why regulators have always had problems with financial market regulation, financial markets, you have to prove motive. Hey, I noticed that you're putting in this ladder of sell orders. Why'd you do it? Because I'm trying to get the lowest possible price for my customer. Okay, that's legitimate. Why'd you do it? Oh, I was hoping, I thought that if I put all these orders in, the price would fall. That's spoofing. That's illegal.
Mm-hmm.
They're both illegal. They're both the same thing. It is illegal to press the price down by putting in fake sell orders, whether it's for your own account or for a customer. It is not legal to do that because you're trying to get your customer the lowest price possible. Your customer is a buyer of silver and should buy at whatever the fair market value in a freely traded market is. He just admitted that, voila, the banks are rigging the market of silver, the price of silver for their customers. Why isn't he in jail yet, CFTC?
So it comes down to that. And that's one of the reasons why financial markets, across time, have always been difficult to regulate.
Yeah, on that point, the difficulty of regulating these activities, the theory behind exactly what you just said there is that the banks and the traders involved in the spoofing activities were not just colluding with each other, but colluding with the government to be selling. And
now I don't know where this dude gets this theory, and even Jeff is kind of perplexed. It's in the wrong context of what we're talking about here. But yes, if the government is the customer of JP Morgan, they are colluding with the government. Now, I don't know if he has proof of the Exchange Stabilization Fund being the customer or China being the customer of JP Morgan, but he throws it out there, and Jeff's like, where the fuck does this come from? Check it out.
And changing the prices on their behalf. Is there any validity to that theory?
No, that's completely, I'm over here and you're over there. I mean, there's nothing in what I just described that suggests that. And as I said, with the exception of JP Morgan, most of what you found is it was one trader or maybe two traders or three traders, and there was collusion across companies or banks in there.
So these are traders going rogue? These are like traders going rogue, Jeff? It's like Nick Leeson, bring it down.
Nick took it to a whole nother level. No,
right.
The idea of sounding out markets, where can I buy this stuff? Where can I sell that? That is, again, it's a legitimate enterprise. It's a legitimate activity for somebody, and it occurs across markets. There are always people who are trying to see if they can get a lower price or a higher price, and by adding volumes to it, they will have an effect on the price.
Wow, another admission. There's always people trying to get a lower price. By adding volumes, meaning putting sell orders in, they can move the price. That's illegal price manipulation. That's the definition of illegal price manipulation. He just said it again. They better keep Jeffery locked up.
These are people who are trying to see if they can get a lower price or a higher price, and by adding volumes to it, they will have an effect on the price. That if they're doing it and their motive is to do that, then it's illegal. It's spoofing.
Okay. So,
but it occurs across markets.
So you're saying the spoofing case did have impact on the price of the silver market?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay, all right. Let's clarify that. Did it have any material impact on the price at all? Do you think? Is that something we can even prove?
We haven't done the detailed data work on the JP Morgan issues. We have done it on other companies, and it's very interesting. And as I spoke to you off camera, we did a very detailed work, with hundreds of millions of trades in a different spoofing case. And what we found was there was no evidence in the price that the guy had actually been hammering the market at the close. However,
wouldn't you love to see the CPM Group study? Hundreds of thousands, millions of trades that we analyzed, and we found no price effect at all. Well, let me ask you this, Jeff. You just said they place sell orders to move the price down so they can buy lower, and now you're saying that it has no effect at all on price. Why isn't this guy in jail? I'm not quite sure yet, other than he works for the bankers. He always has. He's a criminal shill. He's part of the RICO charges. He conspires with the banks to rig the price of silver. Somebody get in there and arrest this dude.
However, there were recordings of him telling his floor broker, hammer the market at the close. So he was found guilty, or he wasn't found guilty. He had admitted guilt and did a plea deal based on the fact that they had evidence that he had intent to do that, even though there was no price consequence.
This is a hedge fund, you said, right?
Huh?
The hedge fund, you said, right? This is a hedge fund?
Yeah, it was a hedge fund as opposed to a bank.
All right.
And it was about 15 years ago. So what you find, there are 2 points I'd make. One is, we haven't done the work on any JP Morgan trades or other people's trades. It's an incredibly detailed study. To do that, it takes a lot of money and time to do that, and no one's paying us to do it. But we look at our price projections, which are predicated on macroeconomic conditions and fundamentals, and we have a very good track record without building manipulation or broader conspiracies into the model. That tells us that the price behavior on a long-term basis is not affected by these spoofings. Now, a spoof can have an effect, but if you know what spoofing is, it has an effect for a day or a minute or an hour. It doesn't have an ongoing effect on the weekly or the monthly or the annual average price.
Okay, so just to conclude this topic, and we'll move on. The fact that silver is not trading at $30 or $40 an ounce right now, as some people say it should be based on macroeconomic factors, that's not because of spoofing from the banks.
No, it's because you've got enormous amounts of silver building up around the world.
All right, let's talk about this enormous amount of silver building up around the world, the supply and demand.
It goes on, and Jeff just sticks his foot in his mouth over and over and over again. Basically, he just admitted, and he should be called in front of Congress on May 26th, and this should be played back. Mr. Christian, you said that banks put in sell orders, spoofing orders, to drive the price down for customers, and that's okay. But if they did it for themselves, it is not okay. Is that your testimony and sworn testimony in front of Congress? That the banks are actually manipulating the price lower, but it's for customers, so that's okay? Is that your sworn testimony? There's a lot more. And then this guy asks, hey, why don't you debate other people? And he goes, I don't debate anybody if they're conspiracy people. Jeff Christian, my friends, Jeff Christian. Make sure you guys go to this guy's new site, Mr. Cliff High at BitChute. He has his own webpage, Cliff_High. This is his BitChute channel. Great one. He just posted. They're all great, obviously, but so he is posting there. And a lot of people saying, where'd Cliff go? YouTube doesn't let him talk about anything. He could talk about a lot more on BitChute, like all of us. We're moving over to different platforms. and go check it out. Explorer's Guide, Sci-Fi World, the Wobble of Vision. Wooble of Vision. Amazing. Really interesting. Beyond interesting. So go check that out. Also, go to roadtoroot.com. Theta price speculation graph is up. A new one. I'm still sticking to it, even though this short-term slam has happened. What a great time to get into Theta and Theta Fuel, especially. Tomorrow is the Theta drop at the World Poker Tour Theta drop. Should get a little excitement. Not sure what day Tom Brady is going to announce that he is using Theta. I think they're going to announce Tom Brady's new company called Autograph, that they're using Theta for their NFT blockchain. Monster. And then, of course, we have the addition of Theta to Coinbase. No, I don't know the day. I would assume it is in the next couple months before Mainnet 3.0, but you never know. But it also could come to Gemini or Kraken, and more people are learning how to buy Theta in the United States. So you can get it at simpleswap.io is the easiest way. You can join a foreign broker. Caleb and Brown is the one I recommend. Caleb and Brown out of Australia. And yeah, you got to get your hands on some Theta ASAP. But the easiest is Simple Swap. Swap some any other crypto. Not any other. They have certain cryptos that you can swap and you can't. And sometimes it's not available. I don't think T-Fuel is available right now because Binance controls most of this stuff, by the way, on the swap site. So just be aware of that. But definitely you want to get your hands on some Theta and stake it. Get your hands on some Theta and stake it. Theta is going into the thousands. And right now it's below $10. I said this back when I remember the drop of Theta from $20 down to 4 cents, or 20 cents down to 4 cents. And everybody's like, oh my God, what a bad investment. And I'm like, you better load up. You'd better load up here because this baby's going to rocket. Boom. 40x move last year. There's going to be a 40x move this year. And then the number one thing that's happening to Theta this year is huge. It's beyond huge. It's the release of my song Theta Girl, the video. No, it is not professional. We did it in the backyard, just messing around. I had to read the words, but Josh did amazing things with that video, and it's coming out very soon. Very soon. We're trying to get Dick Allgaier to put a little guitar in it, but he's reluctant. No, he's not. He'll do it. He got a new guitar, and he's real excited about that. So that's where we are. Jeffery Christian, I don't know why he's still walking around as a free man, because he's colluding with the market riggers, and that is illegal. And he just exposed how they do it. They blame it on their customer. Yes, it is perfectly legal to, in the eyes of Jeffery Christian, it's perfectly legal to spoof silver prices lower so that their customers can be the buyers on lower prices. It's Bix Weir, roadtoroot.com. I'll talk to you later.
Here's a true story about a man just like you. He worked his whole life, he was honest and true. Built up a nest egg the way they said to. Invest in the market, money works for you. And everything is fine, picking the winners every time. Started to believe he can make dollars out of dime. Little did he know he's being primed for a fall. The riggers let you play, then the riggers steal the ball. We want free markets, not a million phantom trades. Lest everyone's honest, we're gonna lose what we made. Got to shut down exchanges, trade one for one. We want free markets, well, our work's just begun. Free markets are the road to freedom. Capitalism, not as bad as they say. The world has never tried it, rigging markets every day. Socialists fail every time in every way. We need a better system to forge a better day. We want free markets, not a million phantom trades. Lest everyone's honest, we're gonna lose what we made. We gotta shut down exchanges till they trade one for one. We want free markets, our work's just begun. Free markets are the road to freedom. I said free markets are the road to freedom. There's a crypto solution, if only done right. We can take out the liars, bring dark into light, and trust in the math, not the people who lie. I think we can make it if we give it a try. We want free markets, not a million phantom trades. Lest everyone's honest, we're gonna lose what we made. We gotta shut down exchanges till they trade one for one. We want free markets, our work's just begun. 'Cause free markets are the road to freedom. I said free markets are the road to freedom. Free markets are the road to freedom.